Hello, my friends, enemies, and people indifferent to my existence. Basement Tapes number 283. This is John over here in the basement where the tapes are kept. And we're talking about the 1976 Kellogg's collection here. Exographs, these beauties from Exographs. I have 11 of them. And let's get to it, shall we? Beckett OPG tells us that there's 68 total cards, $2.46 average value, $167.50 for the total value. A complete set between $75 and $150. The cards in this 57 card set measure approximately 2 1/8 by 3 1/4. The 1976 Kellogg's 3D set could be obtained. Hear me out, folks. The 1976 Kellogg's 3D set could be obtained card by card in cereal boxes or as a set from the company for box tops. Cards number 1 through 3, marked in a checklist below with SP, were apparently printed apart from the other 54 and are in shorter supply. Cards still found with the wrapper intact are valued 25% greater than the values listed below. Remember, these were not edible, these cards, so Kellogg's / Exograph had to wrap those rascals. Let's look at the top 3 according to Beckett OPG. It's weird that the first 3 would be short prints, huh? But anyway, Dennis Eckersley, card number 1, or card number 19, is in first place. Pete Rose, followed by is 2, followed by the Steve Hargan short print, card number 1, Caudell Washington short print, card number 2, and the Don Gullett short print card number 3. So you don't see too many sets in the 70s like this, where your top 3 out of your top 5 earners are Steve Hargan, Caudell Washington, and Don Gullett. Again, filled with Hall of Famers that we loved back then in the day. Let's go over to TCDB. 57 cards, 2 1/8 by 3 1/4 inches. Teams represented in this set are the Braves, Orioles, Red Sox, Angels, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Indians, Tigers, Astros, Royals, Dodgers, Brewers, Twins, Expos, Mets, Yankees, Athletics, Phillies, Pirates, Padres, Giants, Cardinals, and the Texas Rangers. Lots of errors and variations. Again, I can't believe how horrible that Kellogg's and or Exograph was back in the 70s. And it's weird because a lot of this stuff, I would think, if I were a modern thinker back then, I would think it would have to do with computers and some sort of algorithm issue, because the ERA for Frank Tanana's off by 1/100th of a point. George Orta's at bats are off by 1 at bat. There's like some sort of weird thing here, a +1 or something, where a lot of these things, or a -1, I guess, a lot of these numbers are off by 1, which is crazy. Greg Gross, on the other hand, his lifetime games 334 versus 302. So who knows what was going on there at the big plant. 19 Hall of Famers here: Hunter, Jackson, Rice, Blyleven, Sutton, Morgan, Eggersley, Stargell, Yastrzemski, 2 Jim Cotts due to variations, 2 Tom Seavers due to variations, Carter, Bench, Palmer, Brock, Carew, and Simmons. Ted, not Gene. The packaging here, look at Tony the Tiger. Kids, sit down to breakfast with me, Tony the Tiger, and get a free 3D baseball card inside this package. One of 57 colorful 3-dimensional picture cards of Major League stars. And then the print gets a lot finer. I can't read it, but we see the front there. Kids get a great free 3D baseball card inside. So get your sugar, get your corn, and you get your 3D baseball cards. So no comments or trivia associated with this set. Here's the gallery, and of course it's 76, and we are red, whiting, and bluing throughout the nation, throughout our territories, our cities, our states, and all that stuff. Canada probably got in on it a little bit too, because they like to be our +1 a lot of the time. So anyway, red, white, and blue. There are the short prints in the beginning, of course. Randy Jones, nice fro there. So the backs of the cards, very, very fine print that only a 6-year-old kid could read at that time, even though they didn't understand the words or the numbers. Bobby Ray Mercer, San Francisco Giants, position right field, bats left, throws right. Born May 20th, 1946. Height 5'11", weight 165. Hobby is sports. So he is into sports. oddly enough. You see the Giants logo there. You see the MLB logo. You see the MLBPA logo. Officially authorized card number 38. Uh, wow. Insignia, trademark of Major League Club. 75 exograph is the copyright. Major League Baseball Players Association, all sorts of stuff, all sorts of fine print back there. The lawyers were making out like bandits. Bobby's 1975 output indicates his interleague switch from the Yankees to the Giants had no adverse effect on him. Despite dire predictions, he wouldn't be able to work well in the windswept San Francisco ballpark. Mercer, though barely missing a 300 year, was one of the Giants' most consistent performers all season, never quite filling the superstar niche his Yankee employers carved for him. Bobby still had a productive career for the Bronx Ball Club. He was annually among their top offensive players. So, you know, Kellogg's wasn't opposed to throwing some shade on players, and it was kind of a passive aggressive move there. They said he didn't live up to the expectations, and he was not going to be a success in Candlestick and all that stuff. So, Bobby Mercer, uh, whatever reason he was traded to San Francisco in 1975, have no idea why, but anyway, probably would have benefited staying in Yankee Stadium for the rest of his career. They're all there, though. All your favorites: Jerry Royce, of course, Manny Sanguillen, Ken Griffey Sr., George Orta with the Fugazi stats. Beautiful Oakland A's, Paul Lindblad. So we're in 76 here, so we're seeing a completely different Oakland A's, even though Paul Lindblad did win a couple rings, I believe, back then. Thurman Munson, great card there. Steve Garvey, not so great card. And then there's Pete Rose and such and such and such. Greg Gross again, one of the best pinch hitters in Philadelphia Phillies history. Ted Simmons, all that stuff. It looks like he's winking at me, or maybe he's winking at all of us. I can't tell, but I'm taking it as a sign that he's coming on to me. I think there's a puka shell necklace in George Scott's photo. We just can't see it very well. But anyway, red, white, and blue surrounds these things. 3D superstars, Scott, first base, facsimile signature, 3D stadiums in the background, all sorts of fun madness. There's the man right there, Carl Yastrzemski. So that's the 1976 Kellogg's baseball set, and featured here on and only on Basement Tapes number 283.